So this is October 9th, the ProbateData Powergym. It is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time, which is where I'm at. And I'm happy you guys are all here. I'm happy to have you with us today. And this is the ProbateData Powergym. And what we do here is we talk about probate data and probate leads, and mostly about how the machine works, but also what we tend to do is like we go in and we do some actual searches. I show you guys a little bit of how the back end works. And then in the chat, people will put in like, hey, can you do this state or that county, or I have a question about this. So you can interact with me however you want. You can put in the chat like, hey, I have a question, unmute me when you're ready, or you can just unmute yourself and just, start talking when you see there's a break in my conversation. So what we'll do today is this. We're going to see, first of all, if there's any open questions around probate data in general. I see some new faces here. So if you're brand new, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you here. So if you have questions around like, how does this thing work? What am I getting? When am I getting it? This is a good time to ask it. For those of you that have been with us for a long time, this will be a good little repetition for you guys. And then the last 10, 15 minutes of today's meeting, what we'll do is go in and do a couple searches on probate data. So just a quick refresher, if you're brand new to probate data, when you sign up, you're automatically in a free trial for the Platinum program, which basically means you get to subscribe up to 3 different counties. And the moment you sign up, we'll send you the leads that we have for those 3 counties. The most recent upload that we did will go straight to you into your inbox. You can start prospecting right away. And then every time we have new leads that we upload to those counties, you get an email saying, hey, here are your leads. So that's one way to get access to your leads. The other way is, let's say you started this week and you're getting leads going forward. Maybe you want to go back in time. Maybe you want to go back and do some historical prospecting, which is something we came up with a while ago. And I can show you more about that later. Or maybe you say, you know what, this is great. I got all the way up through maybe, August 5th or something like that, or September 5th. I want to go back, further back. How can I do that? Well, that's when you log into probate data and you start doing searches in there. So I can show you how to do that as well. Okay, so let's see if there's any questions in the chat. And I'm going to let in Randy Bandy. He's in the waiting room while we do that. Okay, Kim Moore is asking, good question. I don't know what the answer is to that. Kim Moore is asking, on the case numbers, why are there X's? Are we supposed to confirm what numbers the X's are or not? Thanks. Hey, Kim, what county are you in? What county and state? Sometimes X's are just part of the case number. And, that's just the way it is. You don't have to do any guessing. You don't have to figure out what the number could be. Palm Beach County, Florida. All right, let's look that up. Leo Realtor, you got a couple of questions. Okay, go ahead and line them up. If you want to put them in chat, you can do that. Or you can wait till I'm done with Kim Moore here and see what's going on in Palm Beach County, Florida. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my, I'm going to share my screen just a minute, okay? I'm just going to get things ready here. And we're going to see what Kim is talking about. Why are these random X's inside of her case numbers? Maybe it's just the way it's supposed to be, right? So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Shut down Spotify so it doesn't take up bandwidth. And here we go. Screen sharing activated. All right, so you should be seeing Florida, is that correct? And Palm Beach. Let's just do the month of August 2020. And let's do 8. I'll just do a couple here. I'll do half of August just to see what Kim is talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is just part of the way they structure their case numbers. I don't know why they do that, but that's just the way it is. So if I were you, I would ignore this part right here. So if you're referencing a case number, calling an attorney, or whatever you're doing, is putting in a newsletter, letterhead, or putting it in an email, I would just reference this first part right here. That's probably most likely what it is. MB might refer to something else, and in some cases they might need these digits to fill it out. But in this situation here, you've got a great lead, and just looking at it, you have all the information you need. Petitioner, phone number, email address. This is a great lead, so go get it, Kim. Go get it. All right, let's see what else is in the chat. Okay, Leo B. Realtor, buy houses. I think that's you. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You got a couple questions. Fire away. Okay. Okay, so.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, well, I just typed my questions. First of all, I noticed that sometimes the PRs, they're out of the country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we just discard those?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because, I mean, you might have to do a little private investigation, digging and all that. It might take longer to reach those people. You might reach out to the attorney and ask for the contact information if you can. So here's why I tell you not to discard it. So in general, out-of-state petitioners, so out of state, right? Not out of the country, but let's just say, Leo, which state are you in?
Florida.
Florida. So let's say in Florida, you get a case where the PR is in California, right? Outside of Florida. So this is a great lead because they're not in the neighborhood. They're not in this area. They don't know what's going on in real estate in Florida. They don't know the area as well as you do. So out-of-state petitioners are very, very motivated, especially now many of them are not flying across country just because of COVID. So that becomes a very good touch point for you. So when they're out of state, always reach out, call them and all that. If you have someone out of the country, like Brazil, then what I would do is maybe see if there's any beneficiaries you can call on and say, hey, I see that Paul here is the guy in charge of the entire state. I'm trying to reach him because I have some really interested buyers here for the real estate, or I can help him. It must be challenging when he's in Brazil and grandma's house is here in Palm Beach. How can I best get a hold of him? Because I really want to make sure you guys' property is well maintained. There's a lot of responsibility he has that hopefully he's aware of. I just really want to make sure that I can help him out. So I would go try to see if you can find this guy in Brazil, find some social media. You never know. I mean, you'd be surprised how many times we found someone on social media. It's super easy. Try Spokeo, try those other places. There might be an international component to it. If that doesn't work, then go down the route of the beneficiaries. And if that doesn't work, go down the route of the attorneys. But I would always go for it. You know, don't hold back, Leo. That's a good question.
Okay, and also thank you. Also, I notice sometimes, well, I'm crossing the information with the county records, and let's say the deceased name, it doesn't match the property owner.
I would still call. So if the title, in general, if the title is in a name, and this guy passed away, maybe he or the deceased is renting there. I would still call to find out. Maybe there's something that's going on within the family. Maybe they still want to sell it. Maybe it's not going to be probate. But in any case, they file for probate because they want to move forward. So it could be that this person is renting that particular address, and in which case they may not be selling it, or there might be some other reason. So I would still make it a call, make it one of the great scripts that Mike Torres uses back in the day when he was prospecting as an investor. He'd call them up, like he just called. That was his thing. He just call. He didn't even look at the case until there was an interesting conversation. He just look at like, okay, this is my neighbor. This property looks good. He didn't care. He just called them up and he asked him a simple question. The question is this: hi, my name is Mike Torres. You don't know me, but the reason I'm calling is I noticed that, your grandma passed away, or whoever, the relationship is, and the property on 123 Main Street, have you decided if you want to sell it or rent it? Have you decided if you want to sell that or rent it? Because either way, I'd love to help you. And if they say, I don't know what you're talking about, there's no property, he just moved on. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. Move on to the next one. If they go, well, we have decided, there's so many things going on. Yeah, I understand. What's your biggest challenge right now? This, and you just get into talking and you start building that relationship. So at any rate, Leo, I would call on the PR and say, I noticed that property. Have you decided what you're going to do with it? You're going to sell it? You're going to rent it? And then the PR might say, the petitioner might say, well, I don't know, it doesn't belong to us. It doesn't belong to, let's say grandma passed away. It didn't belong to her. She was renting. Oh, my mistake. Well, is there anything I can help you with since I got you on the phone? What's your biggest challenge right now? Don't just leave them hanging dry. Just say anything I can help you with. If you can help them with a referral to someone in your network, they need a gardener or they need moving services or whatever, always make the referral. You never know how it's going to come back. Always pay it forward, right? Any other questions, Leo?
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. The last question is, as I'm going through my leads, I noticed that some of them are already sold.
Yeah.
And I download the leads that are like 90 days old. So, I mean, how soon are they able to sell the property?
Well, in state by state, county by county is different, but the general rule of thumb is like within 30 days. Like within 30 days, they get approved for being a petitioner. I know in some counties in Texas, it happens within a few days and they're on it, they can move forward with it. The reason why we have a general 30, 60, 90 days game plan that Mike teaches, remember, for those of you that took CPRES training, there's 4 markets, right? There's a 30-day market, the 60-day market, the 90-day market, and then the 4th one is historical prospecting, where you go way back. You go back 12, 18, 24 months, right? And that's something I want to show you guys today. I've showed this a million times, but I love to show this because every time I show it, a light bulb goes on for at least, you know, a handful of you guys, and you go, oh yeah, I could do that. For those who've been with us for a while, this is a good reminder of where the value is. Like, I don't know of any other provider right now, other than ProbateData, that gives you access to our full database nationwide, where you can go back in time and see, whoa, this is the property that most likely is up for sale, and it hasn't sold in the last year and a half. That means one of several things. There was some problem in the family, and they're trying to figure out, they're not going to sell it, or they transfer it within the family. There was no sale taking place. So that happens about 35% of the time, or 60, 65% of the time, sometimes 75% of the time, or 70% of the time. What happens is, like, it's a complicated order, right? It's a complicated situation going on, and there's a lot of back and forth, and just haven't gone around to sell it. And guess what? Most agents are calling on these newer filing cases, right? No one's calling on those older ones. And statistically, we see that like 85 to 90% of cases sell their real estate within 12 months. That means 10 to 15% of cases take 12 months or longer. And guess what? No one's prospecting there. Unless you're on these webinars, then you will be prospecting there, right? So you go further back and you look for properties that haven't sold. So if we went back and looked at some of Kim's, like if we did Palm Beach, for example, we could go back and look at that and see maybe 12, to 18, 24 months ago, what the last sale date is. And what happens is we're pulling it live in the moment. We're pulling it from Zillow, which means we're pulling it from a database that Zillow gets updated on the regular from CoreLogic, that tells us as of that moment that you're clicking that button, it tells you as of that moment what the last sale date was. So it doesn't tell you the last sale date from 2 years ago. That would be useless, okay? So does that help?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. All right, so those of you that are joining in, welcome, guys. I see about 8 or 10 people that just joined. We're doing a little bit of open forum. Ask me anything on probate real estate, probate data, leads, anything like that. And then in about 5 minutes, we'll dive in. We'll do some of the back ends. We'll do some searches. We'll do a little bit of historical prospecting. If you have a county that you want me to search live and ask questions about, just put it in the chat. And if we find some goodies, then I'll email them to you, okay? That'll be on the house, so to speak. I'm not gonna, like, if I find 30 or 40 cases that happen to fit your criteria, I'll download them on my account and send them over to you. So it's not gonna go against your 100 download limit per 30 days of your billing period. All right, so ask me questions. Any questions around probate leads, probate data, probate real estate? Ask me about the weather. I'll tell you the answer as best as I can.
I have a question.
Yeah, who's this?
This is Aniette. How are you?
Hey, Aniette, you have better connection today.
Do I? Good. I kind of get a little confused on when is the actual, I know there's a Friday training, and I know that there's another, I'm so confused on the two, and I'm trying to catch on. But are these on the weekday classes, are they kind of random? Like, is it on a Tuesday or Wednesday or? Yeah,
no, it's a great question. So Fridays is just probate data, right? So it's just purely just probate data, probatedata.com, probate leads, how to, scrub the leads, mail, whatever around the data side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we get questions like, hey, what do I say on the phone? Or what should I send them first? Or things like that. And then we have a bit of a discussion, right? So that's Friday. Tuesday is what we started at the beginning of the pandemic, over 6 months ago, where we did these bonus classes for all of CPRES, whether you have probate data or not. It's just anyone who's CPRES member. And what we do there is we teach different things, and we coach different things, and we handle different things. So we just got done with an 11-week series there that talked about how to build your network of service providers. So that's up there on the portal.
Yes.
Then last week, what we started was the 8-week listing challenge, right? So that started, not last week, this week. That started this Tuesday. We're in week 1 right now.
I
So
missed
those are the
that.
main ones. And then Wednesday, and then when,
Is
what's that?
that 8-week challenge that you're doing? Is that the one that we talked about maybe 2 weeks ago? And it was like only the people on the call were going to be a part of it? It was
Yes,
like,
anyone who goes on this, so anyone who gives them that CPRES call and sign up for it, right? So you had to sign up. There was a little registration process. You had to agree to the commitment. It's an 8-week long commitment, and then you're in, right? So that started. We did it 2 weeks ago. We talked about it. We're going to introduce it this week. Then this week, Tuesday, we introduced it, and people signed up for it. And then this is the week, first week. It's going to be a measurement thing. Those are Tuesdays, yeah.
okay, well, I missed it. That's why I need to know, like, what, because I know Fridays for sure, but then during the week, I have to either catch the email or just, know about it. So I didn't know if it, and I emailed about it, but I didn't get a reply back.
Well, let me give you guys a PDF right now that has everything in there. Let's see if I can share this. Send with transfer. So this is going to be a PDF that has basically all our stuff up there, right? So if you have probate data, then there's a probate data link in there. If you have UPLC, that's on Thursdays, so it depends on like what programs you signed up for. So those of you that have everything, like you have CPRES, probate data, UPLC, you have a busy week. You have, Tuesdays, and then you have Thursdays and Fridays. And then Wednesday with Jack O'Neill, that's a coaching call. So I can tell, I understand there's a lot going on and you kind of have to wrap your mind around, but it's not mandatory that you do everything. Pick the things that you enjoy doing, things where you have questions about, and you join us there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is preparing, yeah, you're welcome. This is preparing the file right now. Jimmy is asking, do you think the court referee is a good source to put in your database network? I don't know. I mean, what's your thought process, Jimmy? I think I get it, but why don't you talk it out with me? What's your thought process of what this person does and how you can work with them?
Well, in a lot of instances, the referees pop up, and they have a lot of contacts with the estates. They not only share appraisals, but a lot of times you have estates that really aren't represented. And, the courts are the PRs. And I'm just wondering if we should reach out to both parties sometimes, because I run into the PRs for the court, and then the referees pop up too. And, rather than just ignoring them, kind of, put them in a sphere of influence, or
I think it's a good idea to put them in a sphere of influence if that's where your expectation is just to be in touch with them, network with them, hang out with them, see how you can provide value to them. But if you're trying to,
I think you answered it.
Yeah, I think you might be disappointed if you expect them to give you listings. But if you just cultivate the relationship, something might come out of it. Yes, Robin, I'll be putting the PDF in the chat. I'm trying to figure that out right now. Usually there's a way to upload a file. Nope, I guess not. Mute all, no, I don't want to do that. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Carrie is saying, I'd love to do search San Bernardino County in California, specifically zip codes. Okay, we can do that, not a problem. Okay, the link for doing mail merge, yeah. So we did a class on mail merges. So let me just find that for you. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/ProbateData. And by the way, let me just show you guys how you can find that. So I go to youtube.com/ProbateData. And I go in here and I hit the search button. So we're now on our channel right now. So what I'll do here is I'll just hit search and I'll do mail merge. and hit enter. So there's one from 4 years ago. I'm sure we have some other ones, but I know that this one was pretty straightforward. This is from 4 months ago, so there's one here. So let me just grab this file for you and put it in the chat. Oh, well, I guess it's going to play now. But no, that's not what I wanted to do. Look at that. I had shorter haircut, more hair. 4 months ago. I wonder what happened. All right, share, copy, and we'll put that in the chat. So whenever you want to look for a training or keyword, just go to youtube.com/ProbateData, and then you look for it there. Okay. So here we go. Here, this is for Stephanie. I put in the chat for everybody. And then let me figure out how can we get the PDF in there. Can I share it with, send with transfer? That should be simple. All right. Okay, let's see any other questions. Carrie's want to do search for San Bernardino. Okay, so this is where we switch gears. We're going to go over to ProbateData. I'm going to share my screen, and then we can do some searches. Maybe we'll start with Carrie's, and then we'll go over to I believe it was Kim who did Palm Beach, because it looks like Palm Beach, we have a lot of good stuff there. And then we'll do some historical stuff there. So we'll do Carrie's search. We'll do regular search for zip codes. And then what we'll do is go back to hold on, to Kim, and we'll do that one. All right. Here's what I'll do. I will email you guys the current schedule, the PDF, because for some reason my Dropbox is not working. So let's jump right in. Boop, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna do a new search. And we're gonna pick California, and Carrie was saying she has a specific San Bernardino. All right, so I'm gonna check San Bernardino, and then I'm gonna expand this out, advanced search options. And actually, you know what I would do here is, let's see. Well, let's try one way first and see what happens. So 92, okay, I got the zip codes here. All right, so we're gonna put down the zip code of the deceased, all right? So we're going down here, zip code of deceased at the time of death. And you wanna separate by comma, no space. Carrie did a great job here, no space, just zip code, comma, zip code, comma, zip code, and so on. And no space in between the comma and the next zip code. And then we'll close this off, and let's select a date range here. If you don't put a date range, it's going to go back like several years, so that's probably not worth it. But let's just try this year and see what comes up. And let's do 10/9, and we'll hit search. We'll see what comes up. So this is specifically for zip codes. Okay, so all we found was a case that was filed on July 20th and July 15th. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, even though the decedent's address might have been in the county, sometimes they file it in LA County. It's weird, but let's try it out. Let's edit the search and choose a different courthouse, an additional courthouse. Let's try downtown LA. Let's try the Riversides here. And hit save search and see if something else comes up, because sometimes you never know. No, still just the same too. And so you can look at the last sale date here if you want. See if it's been sold already. So this one looks like it has not been sold. And this one was filed in June. So we're looking at 4 months and still hasn't been sold, according to this. And this one was filed in July and was last sold in 2019. Interesting. Okay. So there you go, Carrie. That's how I would do it. You want me to send you these? I'm going to assume it's a yes.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Let's do, yeah, you got it. Let us know how it goes with these, okay?
Yeah, it's a second home area. And so when I did it and I only got 2, I was just thinking I was doing something wrong. So it is accurate.
No, you're not. You know, that's the thing. Is like you can't control where people die and if they file or not. You know,
Yeah,
that's
right.
always what I say. You know, you should have seen this in the beginning when we launched ProbateData and like, how come, like with all these people dying, how come there's only 10 cases in my county? Well, we can't control how many people die and if they have an estate and if they want to file and, you know, all of that. We've got a lot of angry members in the beginning, like they completely misunderstood. Like someone dies, it's in our platform and they're going to list right away. It doesn't work that way, you know. One thing I'll try to do is see if we can go further back. Let's try all of last year as well. See if we get something there that's of interest. So here I changed it. And all I got was one more actually. And this was filed in May 20th of 2019. Let's see if we get a last sale date there. Okay, we didn't get anything. But I'm gonna send you these 2 right here. They look really promising. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so Linda's asking, if you get antique data, will it still show the most recent last sold date? So antique, I'm guessing what you're talking about is old, like old cases. I'm guessing that's what's happening. So Linda, we're gonna do Kim's search next for Palm Beach, and we're gonna go back like 12 to 18 months. And I'm going to talk about what the last sold date looks like and what it's doing. And I'll talk you guys through it as we're doing it. And maybe that'll answer your question, Linda. Okay. So we're going to do a new search. And this time we're going to go to Florida. And we're doing Palm Beach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I got you. Let's see here. If we're going back 12 months, that would be October. If we go back 18 months, that would be March-ish. So let's do 03, 01, 2019. And then let's do 04, 01, 2019. And I'm gonna hit search. So I'm not doing, Kim, I'm not doing anything advanced here. I'm not doing any, we can get more advanced afterwards, but for right now, let's just look at the results. Because if there's like a lot of cases in there, maybe what I'll do is, you know, I'd add a little cherry on top by saying, hey, you know what, just give me the ones that are out of state, out of Florida, that were filed, you know, 18 months ago. And then we can kind of cherry pick from there. But let's just see what comes up. Hopefully we get some good results, and this is gonna make me look like a hero. Let's see here. Okay, so we got 270 entries. That's not bad. That's pretty good actually.
Right.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show all entries.
Okay.
And so Linda, this is for you. We're asking, is it gonna show the last sold date? It's gonna show the last sold date as of this very moment. You see this thing that says show. So what I'm doing right now is I'm clicking on the highlighted thing that says show, and it's making a quick call over to Zillow. And then it's pulling the information it has on Zillow based on the decedent's address. So I'm gonna open this up real quick here. Based on this address right here, what's the last sale date? Okay. And here you can actually see there's a last sale date. So if you pull up the whole case, that's one way to do it, but it'll take you too long because you got to go case by case by case. So here's what I would do, right? I would just go down one at a time.
Right.
And then sometimes you get NA. That just means we weren't able to get anything from Zillow. So this is like a game. Like imagine you're in Vegas and you're playing the slot machines or something. You're just like, come on, give me straight sevens here. Look, oh my God, there's always some amazing things here, right? Look at this. 2012 last sale date. That means there's still an opportunity here, Kim, right?
Right.
I would grab that one. 1993. Go ahead and get it. 2018, boom. 2016, 2015. I'm really surprised how many there are. Usually we don't get this many. So here's what you do, right? You cross-reference with the MLS when you're done with this.
Right.
And then here's 2013. I'm beginning to suspect there's something wrong here. This is too good to be true. 2019. So this was in July of 2000. So this one looks like it's sold, right? You see here it was filed in March 29th, and it was sold in July. Yeah. And same thing with this. Actually, no, this was last sale. It was right. Looks like they just bought it and then they passed away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So this is what I would do, right? Just go through all of these 5. This is not a good one. This is not a good one. This is interesting. 2017. So that's what it takes. You just got to go a little bit, few at a time. I'm not going to do the whole page because there's 200 of them, but I'll just do a few more here.
And the reason, Jonathan, you went back to that 1 month period in 19, what was it, March to April?
Yeah, so I went back roughly 18 months, right?
Or 18, okay, that was, I couldn't remember. Okay, got it.
You can do even less. You could do 12 months. You could do, you could do 6 months, but I'm just telling you, like if in average, like if 90% of 85 to 90% of cases sell the real estate within 12 months, that means 10 to 15% of cases, meaning whatever's left,
right,
takes longer than 12 months. So I'm going 12 months and beyond. You could do 12 to 18 months if you want to do that. So now let's say here, I got these here. I'm going to hit export, and I got 13 cases. Let's just pull that out, and we'll save this one for Carrie.
and we get 100 per month, correct?
It's 100 per, not Carrie, this is for Kim Moore. Yeah, you get 100 downloads per 30-day billing period. So let's say you signed up on the 15th and your next billing is on the 15th. Let's say you signed up on October 15th, or let's say September 15th, we're now October 9th.
Right.
Then it resets on October 15th. So it's every 30 days. It's not calendar month, it's whenever you signed up.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. We'll get this over
Appreciate
to you. Can you just do me a favor in the chat, just private message me your email address, and Carrie, you do the same as well, please. Make sure I have the right email address so I can get you guys your leads.
Okay. Thanks again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay. Linda, did that answer your question? You can type in the chat yes or no, or you can unmute yourself. Either way is fine with me. We'll take a little water break. What do you guys think of your next question? I'm going to mute myself here. You don't need to hear this.
Hey, Jonathan? Jonathan?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, it's Carrie again. This first one on Palm Beach, can you open that one up again? It looked like they filed on April 1st before you clicked it, but they died like 18 days later. Did I read that right?
Date of passing 2012, 4/21.
They filed, oh, in 12, sorry, it went so
Yeah.
fast. Okay, perfect. I was like, how does that work?
Okay,
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Preemptive filing, I guess. I don't know.
Right, yeah, which is kind of, yeah.
The heirs couldn't wait to get into it. Yeah. So for those of you that are new, this happens where you get something that well, this can't be right. The person passed away 8 years ago, or in this case, it was 7 years ago for 2019. Why did they wait 7 years? There's a number of reasons. You never know why, but the most common one is there's no reason to sell it. Maybe some of the beneficiaries, wanted to continue to live in the property and was fully paid off. And as long as they pay the property taxes, there's no mortgage. There's, why sell? So then 7, 8, 10 years go by, and then all of a sudden, a change in life happens. Maybe they want to, they send their kids to college, or maybe they want to buy a house and they realize we're sitting on $500,000 in equity, and they go out and they want to list it, and the listing agent shows up and go, yeah, sure. Okay, so you're on title? No, it was my mother's. Oh, okay. Well, in order to sell this, we got to go through probate. You can't sign a listing agreement because it's not your house. And then that just starts the whole process, right? So people, a lot of times, they don't know. They'll think grandma had she had a will that names me as the heir, and I get to keep the house. But no one really ever, bothered to look at the title of the house. and see that it's still grandma's name on the house, you know? So those things can happen. All right, let's see here. Linda's asking, if there's a mortgage, can they still just make payments? Yeah, a lot of times you can still just make payments, and that's not a problem at all, from as far as I can tell. Hey, Kim, you want to give me your private message me your email address, please, so I know where to send those leads. Okay, Carrie, I got yours. Thank you. All right, guys. Let's see if there's any other questions, comments, hallucinations. Nothing today. All right. So Kim, go ahead and message me your email address, or you can also email me to info@probatedata.com. Let me try one more time to see if I can give you guys this PDF thing. All right, let's talk about Jimmy's last question here. Okay, so there's 2 more questions. These are good questions. We'll address those in just a second here. All right, so let's answer these questions. I'll start with Jonathan's. I'll work my way up. Leo's asking, do the 100 leads a month accumulate? No, they don't. If you don't use it, you lose it. It resets every 30 days. Jonathan's asking, if the taxes were not paid, I guess property taxes, I guess we just catch up when sold. So that's really getting into the realm of like tax deeds and tax liens. I'm not an expert in that, but from what I understand, different counties have different thresholds. Like I know like California and LA County, you have 5 years to catch up on your property taxes. At that point, it goes into an auction and you can actually lose the house to not paying property taxes. So if someone keeps paying their property taxes and if there's a mortgage, keeps paying the mortgage, then depending on what depending on what's on the note, what's in the mortgage, some mortgages have a clause that it's due upon death. Like if it changes ownership or if someone dies, then they might call the loan. I don't know that they would want to, but some of them do. All right, so Jimmy's asking, I'd like to cover more marketing efforts. Sometimes PRs don't have emails. So Leo's asking also, hold on, Jimmy, we'll get to you in a second. Do the 100, is there a way to know what's our last day to get the leads every month? So when you log into your accounts, if you go to my account, you'll see your billing in there and you'll see what the last billing date was. And then from there, you can just kind of extrapolate it. Sometimes PRs don't have emails. Well, Jimmy, when they don't have emails, you got to call them. You got to send them letters, right? Like just like what we teach. So whatever it takes to get in conversation with them, just get on it. And then if they have an email address, that's great. Email them as well. Call them. Do everything that you have at your disposal. If you find them on social media, contact them on social media. If that's something that seems appropriate, yeah. So just because there's no email address doesn't mean you shouldn't market to them. It just means you market to them differently.
Well, a lot of times, they don't have the emails, nor do they have telephones. So they only have the address. So, what I'm talking about is probably putting, like we call listing of proposals or probate proposals, probate CMAs and things like that, putting different strategies together, pieces that we direct to attorneys and things of that nature.
So what would you do with that? You would mail it to the PR?
Yeah, you mail them.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way, yeah.
Yeah. And also, we've covered this in the past. There's ways that you can look up people's phone numbers and email addresses. And I guess when you've exhausted all that, then you're just left with mailing the people. And sometimes you can also call on if you don't find a phone number for the PR, but you have a list of the beneficiaries, you might have luck finding their phone number. And then you call them and you work with them and you say, hey, I'm trying to reach Mike over here. I know he's in charge of the estate and I have some really interesting news for him. How do I best reach him? Because I understand he's the decision maker. What's this about? Well, it's about your grandma's passing. I understand that she was your grandma and she left this estate intact, and there's a piece of real estate there that's worth a lot of money, and I just want to make sure that Mike is aware of his options there. What's the best way to reach him? you know, it's also, you could also say, what's the best way to reach him so we can discuss, you know, how to get your inheritance faster, you know? Find out what you want to do
Maybe,
with the estate.
excuse me, maybe next week I'll send you some examples of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Would love
Okay.
to email them to me, and then let me know in the email if we can share it as a group, or you want me
Sure,
to just,
sure.
yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the PDF is not working the way I want it to. So what I'll do is I'll send it, I'll include it in the replay and send it out to you guys probably by Monday. Let's see here if there's any other questions. If that's it, let's call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, be well, stay safe, and wash those hands. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever you
Go
do.
Lakers.
Go Lakers. You heard him. Bye.